Hey guys, welcome back to the channel with more His Dark Materials. This is Season 1, Episode 4, and last time, Lyra was saved by the Egyptians from the Gobblers, so she wasn't brought back to Marissa Coulter. We did find out that Mrs. Coulter is Lyra's mother. This is not a reveal that I anticipated happening within the first 3 episodes, but with that, with Lord Asriel and Mrs. Coulter's story and connection to Lyra revealed, I think that's all of the big twists I know that are coming up. I've forgotten most of what's happened, so I'm going in as blind as I can possibly be, essentially, having already read the book. But yeah, excited to see what happens next. They're all headed north to save the kids, the children, and yeah, I do know some characters up in the north. We might see Lin-Manuel Miranda this episode. We might see... I don't know if we'll see the Bears. Iorek Bernison? I forgot the name. Lin-Manuel Lee Scoresby. I feel like we'll probably be in this episode though. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started. Oh, there he is!
Sing it, Hester.
Aww.
Lee, are you sure Iorek will want us making trouble?
That bear saved our lives, Hester. We owe him trouble.
We owe him trouble.
This is an oil port. There's no smoking on the key.
We nearly made a horrible mistake. Rumor of a bear. Any truth to that?
Yes, I heard a rumor too of an aeronaut who creates bedlam wherever he goes.
What did he just steal?
Any truth to that?
Oof.
Here we go again.
Friendly place.
Yeah. No, it's not. Can Lee just stay out of trouble?
Quite something. All this.
Oh my god!
My whole life I wanted to be here, and now that I'm here, I'm not so sure I want to be.
He's a Arctic fox.
For Ezra, it would be the globe. So
Uh-oh.
I think of my parents when I put the hand there.
Put it away, Lara.
Yeah, why'd you take it out in public?
This fight is not ours. They are stealing children.
That just revealed a lot about his character.
Children do not remain here for long. Intercision. The process is shrouded in secrecy, but the rumors are disturbing. There's a
Intercision.
reason why
This one's hers.
He's like, holy crap. She's right.
What question should we be asking you that we are not?
Whoa.
his name is Iorek Bernison.
Alright. We get to see an unarmored bear.
The child cutters.
Child cutters.
All this town, they pretend not to see.
And are you a coward like they are?
Whoa. Oh, he's huge.
I am not for sale.
They all have the same demon. That's really interesting. Yeah, her fashion game is on point.
You've acquired a reputation. A reputation for stirring up trouble. Now quickly, the Cardinal will not be kept waiting.
Oh, I don't have to tell you guys what that reminds me of. Melania Trump swatting away Donald Trump's hands when he tries to hold her hand.
I'm passing leadership of the Oblation Board on to Father MacPhail, and as of now, you are stripped of all official duties.
Beautifully done. Now shall I tell you why you won't? And why I go north tomorrow?
What?
I have Lord Asriel.
I know who to trust, Father Corin.
But if you're wrong, do yourself damage.
I do myself more damage. Not trusting anyone.
Oh, look at that.
What happened between you and Seraphina?
We loved each other. We had a child. There was an epidemic. There was nothing we could do. He died. And she wanted to rip the world apart. If that's what it took to get him back. I wanted to mourn in peace. Haven't seen her since.
Wow. He looks like a freaking winter cowboy.
I am simply after a bear. It's kind of royal looking. Fancy armor?
What are you thinking?
Oh boy.
Fight. Now you're losing the fight.
What you gonna say?
Okay.
Oof.
Kick again. That was nice. Good. More of that.
Oh!
Hey, you almost got it. Nice kick.
I like how supportive she's being.
Well, that showed them.
I like to think I made my point.
And what point was that?
3 watches in a wallet.
Wow. He was fighting all that time and grabbing wallets at the same time. Where is Lyra Belacqua? Or something else?
Who is Lyra Belacqua?
Who is?
Has anyone seen a bear?
I have.
What do you want with a bear? Another time.
Why don't you tell me?
Because we need him, and I'm not sure that you won't take him from us.
I have
Buckbeak vibes.
changed.
Serafina Pekkala will support you in whatever route your path takes.
Aww.
We've been searching for hours. I don't think he's here.
Yeah.
Iorek Bernison! Some look good naked, you do not. Who has it? Tell me what you've done. We wouldn't judge you, couldn't judge you.
And what if I deserve to be judged?
You haven't got that lucky, Mr. Sisselman. I'm not handing myself in.
Oh, is that right?
I, not Iorek Bernison, own his armor. He lost it to me in the game of cards, you see. I've come back to reclaim it.
Wait, is this Dudley?
Who paid you to write this, and how much will it cost me for you to rewrite it?
Ooh.
You be careful.
They've got you well controlled, haven't they?
Oh.
He's a bear. He can't be a slave. Not to you, the Magisterium, or anyone.
They have Azrael?
They do.
Then all the more reason to have an armored bear on our side.
I choose who I fight alongside, and that is my final word.
What do Mrs. Coulter want with you?
It's more than my position is worth.
You mistake me for someone who cares about your position. Your filthy predilections.
Oh.
And the trouble they've caused. I don't need his permission. I just need your consent. Or must I expose you to the world?
I represent Jonfar, ruler of the Western Egyptians, and we would like to hire you. We'd be grateful for your services. We pay in gold.
I know what you're fighting, kid. You're gonna lose.
I learned that sometimes a bad hand can be your greatest weapon. Sometimes when there is no hope, it can allow you to bluff magnificently. He's an armored bear. What could
Keeps stealing his food.
They got his armor.
His armor means as much to him as Hestra here does to me.
Wow.
Now, I've been thinking that maybe I'm outgunned in this town, but I've got some craft of my own, you understand.
She's taking all his
And when
bacon.
Iorek his freedom, then where did she go?
Where should he go?
She's quick. And she stole my bacon.
I know where your armor is, Iorek Bernison.
How have you found it?
A lithiameter.
Tells me the truth. And I'll use it if you come with us.
If they try to stop me taking my armor, they die.
That seems fair. But only if they try and hurt you.
The armor was inside you all along.
It's in the cellar of the oratory.
got to stop him.
Yeah, he got a little too violent too fast, I guess. Hee. Oh boy.
Let go of him! You owe me a debt. Now you can repay it. Do as I ask. Don't fight these men.
You owe her a debt too? Again, Iorek. Hello again, Mr. Sisselman. Having fun? I hope so. This isn't who you are.
It's who they made you to be. Let's go.
Trust me when I tell you, it's within us to beat these people.
Sure.
Mind if I brought along a little extra help all the same?
How did you...
He's been mistreated and tricked. Just like the Egyptians have been. Always. Mistreated and tricked. He's practically Egyptian. Just like I am.
Lyra, you cannot constantly be disobeying me.
I agree. Who wants a disobedient kid? But she's right. He's a good bear. He won't have any trouble.
He's a good
Hey.
bear.
And me.
And who's this?
He told me he'd asked for me.
No, I told you he'd be grateful for you.
I can fight and I can fly. I don't come cheap, and neither should I. You'll get gold for gold.
Welcome aboard, Lee Scoresby. We have a long and dangerous journey ahead.
I was a great help in aiding you in the disposal of Iorek Burnison and helping you take your throne. I'm talking of a baptism. Acceptance into the magisterium.
Baptism.
Will you walk the path with us?
No bears have ever been brought into the magisterium before.
The honor would be ours.
In return for which, I will give them Asriel.
But I will control him. I'm simply asking for you to show your loyalty to us so that we may show our loyalty to you.
His armor looks really cool, actually. Does she get to ride on his back at some point? So that was a really fun introduction to some new characters. I'll get to the best. I'll save the best for last. But first we have Dr. Lencilius, has a snake demon, and Farder Coram mentioned his eyes filled with greed when he found out about Lyra's abilities. And yeah, as soon as I saw his demon, like, I was judging him, which makes me wonder if there are any demons that will like buck this trend and like defy expectations. Like the people who have certain personality traits, like the bad guys have snakes, bugs. Mrs. Coulter has a kinda rabid monkey, but Dr. Lencilius does wind up being helpful. After all, children from his community are being taken as well. He does call on Serafina Piccola for them, and also gives Lyra a spray to call Serafina as well whenever she's in trouble. And yeah, so we learn about Serafina Piccola, who we still haven't seen yet, but we saw her demon, and apparently demons from witches can separate a long distance. I don't know if that's meant to be a misdirection towards Mrs. Coulter being a witch, but yeah, she's the witch who was once the lover of Farder Coram, and sadly we know that they had a child who died in an epidemic, and she wanted to bring the child back to life, and Farder Coram wanted to mourn, that counts as irreconcilable differences, and yeah, they haven't seen each other since. And I think John Foss said that Coram wasn't that much better looking 40 years ago, so it's been close to that amount of time. Yeah, super emotional though, learning that. I loved Lyra's question to Dr. Lencilius, like, what questions should we be asking you, but we're not? That's a really interesting thing to ask. And he winds up telling her and Farder about Iorek Burnison, which brings me to the big two new characters of this episode, Iorek Bernison and Lee Scoresby, played by Lin-Manuel Miranda. For those who missed it, I went to the same high school as him, so I naturally feel some sort of kinship. There are other things that make me feel attached to him, but you can check that out in my reaction to the pilot if you want to hear more. But let's start with him. I know a lot of people said Lin-Manuel Miranda wouldn't be a good fit as Lee Scoresby, but I kind of love him in this role. He's kind of dressed like as a winter cowboy, and I love his relationship with Hester. When during that bar fight, she was kind of like rolling her eyes at his like indiscretions, like his stealing, but then he owes a debt to Iorek, and that's why he's looking for him as well. Yet that bar fight where he just winds up stealing from everybody. I feel like it's gonna catch up with him a little bit. Hester is so supportive of him during that fight, like constant just being like, nice kick, bottle, ooh, do more of that, you got this. It's really cute. But yeah, he feels like he owes a debt to Iorek, and you can tell Lee actually cares like deeply for him. And I wonder what Iorek did to incur this debt. He mentioned that he saved his life, but don't remember the full story. And I forgot that I do remember what they're doing with the children up in the north, but I don't remember why. Lincilius says intercision, and Iorek mentioning child cutters reminded me, but yeah, I don't know why. I assume it has something to do with dust, but I can't tell. I don't remember. I did forget that the detail about the bear's armor is like its soul, similar to how demons are for their humans. And so Iorek, after having his power stripped from him by Mrs. Coulter and Yofer, went on to lose his armor. So it's been a steep fall. He says the last 3 years. He says it's been a bad 3 years to Lee. So steep fall. Lyra talking to Lee to try to get information on Iorek was great. She ate all his bacon and then like disappeared. It was really, really, really funny actually. But yeah, she's a very precocious little child. Like she bluffed the heck out of Lee Scoresby. And I loved how unprepared he was when Lord Fa like didn't know who he was. He's like, "What? But you told me he'd be honored to have me." It was really funny. And yeah, Lyra was able to use the promise of the armor to convince Iorek to join her side. Even stops him from crushing the guy's head, which was Dudley frickin' Dursley. I haven't seen him since Harry Potter, and he looks a lot different, so it took me a while to realize who he was. I was like, I know that face, but yeah, it was a couple of scenes before I was like, oh, that's who it is. I love what she says when Fardacorum is like, why you antagonize the bear? Like, he says she does herself damage by trusting so freely, and she says she does herself more damage by not trusting, which, I mean, she's come a long way since last week's episode when she didn't feel like she could trust any of the Egyptians. Like, she's come a long way after Mrs. Coulter's betrayal. I'm curious if she's, like, overcorrecting and becoming too trusting after not wanting Mrs. Coulter's betrayal to affect her so strongly. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Mrs. Coulter, meanwhile, she has had Lord Asriel captured by Yofer, just in time to negotiate her way out of punishment from the Magisterium. Cardinal Sturrock was pretending it wasn't a punishment or whatever, but he was going to strip her of leadership of the Gobblers, and yeah, she had this up her sleeve. She's really good, and like very, very, like, the conversation she had with Lyra in episode 2 about, like, I can show you how to, like, control, like, basically, not control, I can show you how to, like, survive in this world as a woman. But yeah, it's very impressive. And she gets to ask a question of Fra Pavel. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Parvel. And his alethiometer. And it was, who is Lyra? So yeah, there's a mystery around her, even though we know she is Mrs. Coulter and Lord Asriel's daughter. So we don't know who she's going to betray and what her role is in all of this. Yeah. But Lord Boreal also threatens Fa Parvel to find out what Mrs. Coulter wanted. He says he knows what kind of man Lord Far Parvel is, which are there, like, what kind? Boreal said, like, filthy predilections, so I'm guessing, like, something very perverted, and he blackmails him into asking about Grumman and how to find what Grumman found. And like, if you needed any more convincing that Boreal isn't exactly on the up and up, he says he doesn't need anyone's permission, he just needs Var Parvel's consent. But then at the very same time, he blackmails him. So, like, coerced consent is not consent. Like, it shows you in another way just how twisted Boreal is, if you didn't already know. We didn't get a sense. We didn't get the journalist. We didn't see the journalist again. Her butterfly didn't like disappear like Benjamin's demon did. But I guess we can assume that she's dead now, since that hasn't been addressed in two episodes. But yeah, now we have some new allies. It'll be a lot of fun. Do love me some Armored Bear and some Lee Scoresby. So yeah, they're heading further north, and we'll see where that goes. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, yeah, leave a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.